Flamingo Books. Shining English Reader. Series 5. Chapter 16. The Boy Who Drew Cat. A long time ago, a little boy named Jun lived with his family in a small village in Japan. Jun's parents were poor farmers who found it hard to make ends meet. The children did their best to help their parents. All except Jun. Although he was cleverer than his brothers and sisters, Jun would do no work on the farm. Instead, he spent every waking hour drawing cats. His father scolded him, "Jun, you have to stop drawing cats. How will you learn to be a farmer?" Jun said, "Sorry, father. I'll try to stop." But the next moment he was drawing cats again. Jun, whose name means obedient, was very obedient in most things, except for this one thing. His parents realized he would never be a farmer. "Maybe he should become a priest?" asked Jun's mother. So, his parents took him to the temple one day and requested the good old priest who lived there to teach Jun to be a priest. The old man spoke kindly to the lad, and asked him some hard questions. Jun's answers were so clever that the priest immediately agreed to teach him. All the students at the temple worked hard. All except Jun. As usual, Jun spent all his time drawing cats, even during study hours, and he drew them where cats ought not to have been drawn at all. Whenever he found himself alone, he drew cats. He drew them on the margins of the priest's books, on all the screens of the temple, on the walls, and on the pillars. Several times the priest told him to stop, but he could not stop drawing cats. One day, after he had drawn some very clever pictures of cats upon a paper screen, the old priest said to him sadly, "My boy, you will never be a priest, but perhaps one day you will become a great artist. You must go back home." Jun tied up his little bundle of clothes and sorrowfully left the temple. He wondered what he should do. He didn't dare to go back home. Suddenly he remembered that there was a very big temple in the next village. He decided to go there and ask the priests to keep him as their attendant. What Jun did not know was that the big temple was closed up. A big goblin had frightened away the priests and taken possession of the place. Some brave warriors had gone to the temple to kill the goblin, but they had never been seen alive again. When he got to the village, it was already dark and all the people were in bed. Then he saw the big temple on a hill at the end of the street, with a light shining from it. People who tell the story say the goblin used to keep that light burning in order to tempt lonely travelers to ask for shelter. The boy went at once to the temple and knocked. There was no sound inside. He knocked again, but still nobody came. At last he pushed gently at the door, and was quite glad to find that it was not locked. He went in and saw a lamp burning, but he could see no priest. He sat down and waited. He noticed that everything in the temple was gray with dust and thickly covered with cobwebs. Jun felt sure the priests would be happy to have an attendant to keep the place clean. Then he saw some big screens that looked perfect for painting cats. Though he was tired, he looked around for a writing box and found one. He ground some ink, and began to paint cats. He painted many cats upon the screens, large and small. After some time he began to feel quite sleepy. The temple was very large, he was all alone, and for the first time he felt a little afraid. He looked for a place to sleep. He found a little cabinet with a sliding door, went into it, and shut himself up. Then he fell fast asleep. Very late in the night he was awakened by a most terrible noise, a noise of fighting and screaming. It was so dreadful that he was afraid even to look through a chink in the little cabinet. He lay very still, holding his breath. The light that had been in the temple went out, but the awful sounds continued. Soon they became more awful and the whole temple shook. After a long time there was silence, but Jun was still very afraid. He did not move until the light of the morning sun shone into the cabinet through the chinks of the little door. Then he got out of his hiding place very cautiously, and looked around. The first thing he saw, lying dead in the middle of the temple floor, was an enormous monstrous rat, a goblin rat. But who or what could have killed it? There was no man or any other creature to be seen. Suddenly Jun noticed that the cats he had drawn the night before, all had very pleased expressions on their faces. He did not remember drawing them quite this way. He realized that the goblin had been killed by the cats he had drawn and they had saved his life. He thanked the cats, and decided then and there that he would never again allow anyone to stop him from drawing cats. When the villagers learned that the monster rat was dead, Jun became a hero, because, of course, they thought he had killed it. The village priests let him live in the temple as long as he liked. Jun did not become a priest or a farmer. He became a famous artist and was honored through the country. He was an artist who drew just one thing. I am sure you can guess what cats. Jun's cats are so famous that even today travelers come to Japan to see them.